Good day, folks. Today I am creating fertility out of waste pallets, waste leaves, and my own waste. But wait, there's more. I'm doing this in the middle of my backyard. But why would I do that? Well, notice the ground. It's brown. It's basically a desert. Definition of a desert. Brown ground with no plants. So look, barely anything can grow, and it's not like there's a thick leaf litter or anything. It's just bare ground. Look at that, nothing growing. We've got some like random grasses that are barely hanging on, but we went all through the summer and got nothing. So I have created this lovely compost pile, and I did it all basically for free, with free stuff. So today I'm going to show you how we get this done. Alright, so I took this from the old hog fence, and I've got more over there if I need them. But here's what we're working with. It is a little bit more than a cubic yard. I think most of these are over 3 feet. But literally just, you can use just like one screw if you want. So like, see, that's one screw going into this 2x4 here. And you only need one on each place that you connect. So now we need to go hunting for some carbon, because we're already producing plenty of nitrogen in this house. Poop. I'm talking about my poop, guys. All right, folks, we got the truck here, and we got some bags. So already loaded a bunch up. Here's what you're not looking for. You can compost. That's going to take a while longer, but notice there's very scary spikes on there. I don't want that. So I think this is the last bag I'm going to take. It's just leaves, some pine needles. Feel it beforehand. It feels really light. There's stuff poking out. It's going to be really woody stuff. It'll compost, but it takes much longer. So that's what I'm looking for. Stuff with sticks poking out of it, probably don't want that. But this right here is just leaves. Some green stuff, whatever, I'll take it. That'll compost real good. Alright, folks, we have a bunch of carbon. I'm looking straight at the sun. Oh, look at that shade. We got a bunch of carbon in here. So this is like my base layer. I think that was like 4 bags. Probably didn't need to do that many, but I was messed up the shot, tried to get another shot, whatever. Doesn't matter. And so I'm just gonna even this out. Actually, I'm gonna try to create kind of a hollow spot in the middle of this thing. But you notice there's a very deep spot. So the sides, they're about up to here on the hoe. So we've got a good 2 foot difference between this low spot. I know it's hard to see in the video, but you want this about 1 foot or 2 below these edges. And so when I add matter to it, I'm gonna put it right in the center, and I can pull leaves over it. And I can just keep doing that all the way around until it's evened out. And then I can get in here and mix it, or I can just add more leaves and repeat. So that's the way I think about it. And composting is something you just should not worry about. Don't worry about getting the fastest or whatever. It's more about just doing it. All right, so in that bucket behind me, I've been pooping in it, and I've got basically just litter / compost / whatever that was in the pig pen. So that's what I'm using as my carbon, since there's a lot of like woodier stuff and half composted, broken down, decomposed things. So that's what I'm using to kind of regulate, to absorb the ammonia from the urine and just the nasty juices from my body. And so that is going to go straight into there. And the awesome thing about this method is it does not smell. Also, there's a great book called the Humanure Handbook. If you're going to do this, you should read it. But basically, I'm not too worried about anything, because this is going to be soil amendment for non-food plants. These are not food for me. I'm not going to be planting tomatoes or peppers here. I'm going to be planting a cover crop here. And so this is a soil amendment to grow pasture for sheep and just to have good soil, honestly. Oh, nasty. Boom. Alright, you better believe it stinks when it comes out of that bucket. But what's funny is I leave that bucket in the sun for a day, odor's gone, sun kills it. And then as far as this goes, it's covered up and there's nothing, you know, no smell. So this is literally in the, like, sitting in the middle of my backyard. But yeah, it's just gonna be a nice little backyard feature. And when this is all done, I'll just take these panels apart and then spread it out. All right, final stage is water. So got my hose in here. It's funny, see the handle there? That's a hoe and this is a hose. Interesting. So we're just gonna wet it down. You can do it in layers, whatever. I'm just gonna give this a really good soaking. And this is well water, so it's gonna be high in iron, which I don't know, I don't think that's gonna be anything great, but probably better than like chlorine in my city water. But of course, these are all pretty low levels relatively. So one of the reasons this stuff was actually heating up in the bags is because the bags don't allow any moisture to escape. And so whatever moisture is in there stays in there, and that actually helps them begin composting in the bag. So the problem though is it's not letting much oxygen go through. So whatever microbes are in there that begin to decay it, they're gonna get choked out, and then you're gonna get an anaerobic deal going on that can get pretty funky. So yeah, I don't think there's too much, there's no such thing as too much water, but if you see water starting to drip out from underneath somewhere, which is not happening, that's when you know you've added too much water. So once it starts coming out the bottom, you know, you can quit. But generally I just, you know, sit here for a few minutes and spray water on it. Yeah, so you can see water's right there leaking out the bottom, so we know we're done for sure. All right, now I know none of you are actually gonna try this. You should do it, but you're probably not gonna. It's the truth of it. Hopefully you just got frustrated at me and you're like, I'm gonna prove him wrong. That's my goal, so you can prove me wrong. That'd be great. But if this starts to stink, you're like, man, I did everything he just did and it stinks, what the heck? Let me remind you, you are not a peasant that just follows directions. You are a manager who makes decisions. And so you have to make the decision to add more leaves. So if it stinks, you need more carbon. Basically, stench just means you don't have enough carbon. That's all that means. Or it's not mixed properly. Like if you put stinky stuff on top, it's gonna sit on top and stink. You need to cover that with carbon. Always cover with carbon. And so you may come out and realize, oh man, a raccoon or a possum or something started digging in here and exposed the rotten stuff that you had thrown away. Just cover it back over. Maybe you need to put like a screen or something so the animals don't get into it. But in my experience, I don't know that I've ever caught an animal digging through my compost. And hopefully that's a testament to the lack of smell, because I'm covering it like a good resource manager would. And I think they have before, especially when I first started. They may have done it, but I'm pretty certain, if my memory is correct, I composted a deer carcass, and I don't think I had any scavengers come and dig it up. And it's not like it was right next to my house. It was like out by the edge of the woods. I mean, the animals came and killed my chickens, but they didn't dig through my compost. And so when you have a good cover over your nasty stuff, like a deer carcass, poop, rotten stuff, rotten organic matter, whatever it is, then you shouldn't get animals in there. But if you do, it's not a big deal. It's really not. Just cover it with some wire, or I would personally just let them get in there and dig whatever they want out, and then maybe I'll catch them and then shoot them and then throw them in the compost, and I'm taking back everything they stole, plus more. No, I would eat them and throw the carcass in there, or feed it to my chickens, or whatever. I mean, I could shoot a raccoon or a possum. Personally, I like possums. I wouldn't shoot a possum, but you have liberty to shoot a possum if you want to. But I'll probably feed it to my chickens, and then whatever they don't eat could go into the compost. So there's a million different things, but if you go back, last video, one before, about how everything's in a cycle, so just identify what part of the cycle that should participate in, and put it right there in the cycle. So a dead animal is in the part of decomposing. Put it where it's going to decompose. Put it where it's going to go into a stomach of an animal and be broken down and built up into new life, like a bigger bird, or eggs, reproduction. So anyway, that's the way to think about it. And then once it is decomposed, you can put it in a place to be recomposed into plants. Oh, there's no plants there yet. There will be, though, because we're breaking it down, and then we're going to put it here. We're going to put down seeds, and they have all the directions to build a plant. So that's what we're going to do, because that is how it works. It's just simple. Build up, break down, build up, break down. It's a cycle. All right, have a great day, guys. Goodbye.